Did you know that Blue Lock lied to you about Isagi? The anime makes him seem like this selfish, ego-driven striker who cares for nothing but crushing others to become the best in the world. In reality, Isagi is actually super selfless. According to the Egoist Bible, the official Blue Lock character book, if Isagi was ever given a fortune of 100 million yen, he wouldn't really know what to do with that amount of money, and instead would most likely give the entire amount to his parents. This is by far the most selfless fact about Isagi, and it makes him so much more likable as a character. Aside from wanting to be the best striker and win the World Cup, he also wants to support his parents financially at the end of the day. Considering that winning the World Cup would net him nearly the equivalent of $40 million, it is a hefty prize. This truly gives Isagi another complexity to his character. Now, this is just one of the many Isagi facts I discovered, and we're just getting started because each fact I share is just a little bit more interesting than the last. And next, let's talk about the crazy reason why Isagi washes his head first before anything else when taking a bath. When Isagi takes a bath, the very first thing he washes is his head, because his father taught him it's better to wash from the top than from the bottom. Yeah, I know, right? Pretty weird. But it actually says a lot about how Isagi thinks and plays. See, starting from the top can be seen as thinking first before taking action. Exactly how Isagi approaches football. He uses his brain before his body. He scans the field using his spatial awareness and metavision, analyzes all scenarios, and then makes his move. It's a small, almost funny detail, but it gives a glimpse into his upbringing. His dad literally taught him to start from his head. And that fits perfectly because in Blue Lock, Isagi's head is his strongest weapon, his command center. One of the juiciest facts about Isagi is that, yup, you guessed it, he actually has a type when it comes to girls. Yeah, so according to the Egoist Bible, apparently Isagi's type is a kind person who smiles and laughs a lot. Aw, so cute! And I already know a few of you watching just fell a little harder for him after hearing that. It's such a wholesome and genuine answer coming from someone who's supposed to be this ego-driven striker. It shows that underneath the fierce competitor is a down-to-earth, kind-hearted guy who values warmth and positivity. I mean, I definitely want to be friends with Isagi, although I don't think he would appreciate the fact that I think Ronaldo is the GOAT and not Noel Noah. Did you know that Isagi Yoichi actually enjoys art? Yeah, I know. Not exactly what you'd expect from someone whose whole life revolves around becoming the best striker in the world. This fact seems to imply that he has had some fun or even some aptitude in the field of art. Maybe he visited a famous art museum like the British Museum in London or even the Louvre in Paris. Though, given how wild the world's been lately, maybe not the Louvre right now. Still, this little fact opens up a whole new layer to his character. It is most likely that Isagi has some artistic skills at his disposal, but it could also explain his rather creative methods of surviving in Blue Lock as a result of his artistic interest. That said, Isagi's goals aren't exactly artistic masterpieces. He's not flashy like Bachira or Shido. His finishing is all about precision and efficiency, not style. Overall, Isagi may not be an artist in a career sense, but it's certainly an interesting thought to see where his preferred fields of thought lie. One thing that's even more fascinating about Isagi than just his interest in art is the fact that if he had one last day on Earth, he'd spend all day eating his favorite food, kintsuba, with some tea on the side. Although where exactly he would do this is left up to interpretation. Kintsuba yaki is essentially a cooked pastry that can be made in a variety of flavors and shapes. Considering that during his time in Blue Lock, Isagi had to live off natto, fermented soybeans, not exactly everyone's favorite, it's no wonder he might miss his favorite food. Despite the simplicity of such a question, the answer provides a humble feeling to Isagi's inner thoughts. Hopefully, by the time it's his last day on Earth, he will have lived a fulfilling life and a good career. But that isn't until a very long time in the future. Here's one for the boys. Not only does Isagi have a type, he also has a favorite body part on a girl. And according to official sources, that happens to be thighs. Yup, big, juicy thighs. Isagi's got a thing for them. Pretty unexpected coming from our calm, analytical striker, right? Now, maybe there's more to it than it seems. You could argue that for a striker like Isagi, who constantly reads body language on the field, legs tell as much of a story as eyes do. Strong thighs mean strong movement, and in football, reading those movements can be the key to predicting tackles or openings. Yeah, I'm just grasping at straws here at this point. Isagi just likes himself some thighs. Apparently, Isagi's astrological sign is Aries, and the more you think about it, the more it makes perfect sense. Aries are known for being passionate, confident, and fiercely motivated. All traits that define Isagi to the core. He's a natural leader who channels his energy into action, always ready to push himself and everyone around him to the limit. Whether it's on the field or in competition, that unstoppable drive and fire in his eyes scream Aries energy. When you watch Isagi play, you can feel that passion. Every goal, every read, every calculated move is fueled by pure determination. He doesn't just want to win, he needs to. And that aligns perfectly with the Aries spirit. Bold, ambitious, and never backing down from a challenge. Just like how we love reading Blue Lock. The Blue Lock players themselves are Manga fans too, and each one has their own favorite series. Bachira likes ping pong, Kira Death Note, obviously, Shigiri Attack on Titan, Kunigami One Piece, and Isagi's favorite is Cyborg Kuro-chan. Cyborg Kuro-chan is a manga series surrounding a kidnapped black cat that was turned into a cyborg by a mad scientist. After removing the program chip, the cat becomes a vigilante and participates in a lot of wacky but interesting adventures, ranging from urban destruction to parallel universes. It's such a random but perfect pick for Isagi. Cyborg Kuro-chan is about adapting, thinking fast, and taking control of your own destiny, which is exactly what Isagi does in Blue Lock. Even his favorite manga subtly reflects that balance of chaos, intelligence, and heart that defines him as a character. Isagi also has a favorite movie, My Neighbor Totoro. It seems that Isagi has good taste when it comes to movies, considering that My Neighbor Totoro is a Studio Ghibli film that is extremely popular. Apparently, every time Isagi watches it, he ends up wishing he had an older or younger sister of his own, which is just so adorable. Kinda funny that the movie's entire vibe is the complete opposite of Blue Lock. Totoro is all about comfort, nature, and calm, while Blue Lock is about pressure, ambition, and chaos. But maybe that's exactly why Isagi loves it. It's his escape, a reminder of innocence and warmth in a world built entirely around competition. Did you know Isagi's favorite animal is actually a spiny lobster? Yeah, not a dog, not a cat, a lobster. Pretty unusual, right? But the reason behind it makes total sense. According to the Egoist Bible, Isagi says he likes spiny lobsters because they have good form and structure. This isn't a difficult parallel to make when comparing to his own experiences, as his soccer career requires him to have a good form as well as proper footwork and stamina. Since the spiny lobster has not only a large shell, but also antennae that allow it to sense the area around it, it ties into Isagi's great spatial awareness in the field. So, even though it might sound like a random choice at first, it actually ties directly into who Isagi is, a player who values structure, awareness, and adaptability. Leave it to him to turn a lobster into a symbol of elite striker intuition. One of Isagi's favorite things to do in his free time is surprisingly simple. He loves to go for walks. It might not sound like much, but this quiet habit actually reveals a lot about his mindset. We've seen him do it before, most notably after his heartbreaking loss in the prefectural finals, one of the lowest points in his early soccer career. For Isagi, walking isn't just a hobby. It's a way to clear his head, process emotions, and reflect on what went wrong or what comes next, which helps him a lot in performing better. It's also a hobby that fits his character perfectly. Isagi's greatest strength isn't raw talent or ego. It's his ability to think, to observe, and to grow. And a simple walk gives him space to do exactly that. It's a reminder that sometimes even the best strikers in the world need to slow down, breathe, and think things through. And speaking of the best players in Blue Lock, if you want to know who I think is the best player in Isagi's age group of 17, watch this next video.